Developing compassion requires that we have an empathy for our own and others' suffering, generating this first towards ourselves. Think of situations where we have been experiencing suffering, not getting things that were important or we thought would make us happy, having circumstances that cause difficulty, judgment, disappointment. Allow yourself to actually feel these tangible feelings of suffering, of emotional and mental suffering, and sometimes physical suffering, of course. And realize that suffering is something that we share with all beings. Every being knows suffering. If we try to shut out our own suffering, we won't be able to have empathy for other people in their difficulties, and we won't be able to develop compassion. So feeling that sense of suffering, of sadness, of loss, of frustration, and just say again and again to yourself, may I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I be free of mental suffering. And we know our particular type of mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering. May I be free from enmity and danger. Now reflect on your loved ones, those dear to you, and generate genuine empathy towards them for the difficulties that they're experiencing in life, mentally, physically, emotionally. See each one in front of you. Recognize the sign of their suffering. It's in their posture, it's written on their face, in their sighing. They may be experiencing loss, disappointment, sickness, old age, or facing death. Feel from the warmth of your heart, from the Buddha nature, a recognition of their suffering. Repeat each of their names and say silently, again and again, may you be free from suffering and its very causes. May you be free of mental suffering. May you be free of physical suffering. Allow yourself to actually feel that person's suffering, what it's like in their life. Don't be afraid to let that come into your heart. And then with this strong aspiration, breathe out from the very center of your Buddha nature, may you be free from suffering. This very strong aspiration that they may be free of suffering. Now think of people that you meet throughout the day whom you may not be close to, someone living near to you, someone in the shops, someone you see regularly as you're going to work, or one of your work mates. With a mind of empathy, see how they too may be suffering. Even if you don't know the nature of their suffering, you can see it in their face, in their posture, in their expression. Allow yourself to actually feel with empathy their suffering, not shutting it out, not judging it, but feeling what it's like. Actually draw that suffering right into your Buddha nature in your heart, but feel that as it comes in, it just dissolves. And as you breathe out, you send out a very strong warmth of compassion, saying, may you be free from the suffering and the causes of the suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be free from physical suffering. We can also practice this with people that we see on television, people who are suffering in war-torn countries from physical disasters like floods or fires. Open your heart to those people. Think how difficult it must be for them, losing their loved ones, living in fear, uncertainty. Let your heart open towards them. Allow the sense of their own suffering to come into the center of your heart, into your Buddha nature, where it is just dissolved. And as you breathe out, pour out to them your heartfelt desire that they be free from suffering. May you all be free from suffering. May you truly be free, and free from the underlying causes of the suffering. As you move about through your day, your mind will fall onto people that you see, and notice if there's a tendency to judge them for their difficult circumstances, the homeless person on the street or the drug addict sitting on the sidewalk. And generate a heartfelt, genuine empathy from your heart. May you be free from this suffering and the cause of this suffering. Now bring to mind again someone who has caused difficulty for you in your life. Someone who may have harmed you through their attitude or their words or their actions. Someone who may have obstructed, caused difficulties for you. Recognize again that they too are suffering. Otherwise they wouldn't behave or generate out their suffering towards you or other people. Recognize that they too wish for happiness and to be free from suffering. Recognize that their words and actions may be very unskillful, even harmful, but that they too may be suffering from their own thoughts, from their own speech, and they are cultivating a more difficult future for themselves through their actions and behaviors. So generate empathy for them, seeing their face in front of you. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be free from physical suffering. Generate a genuine sense of wishing for this person's well-being and very freedom from even the source of suffering. Now expand the scope of your empathy and awareness to embrace all individuals in this world. Everyone like ourselves, yearning for happiness and freedom for suffering. Think how you yourself have made wrong choices, gone in wrong directions, and perhaps harmed others and taken happiness from others. So recognizing this, extend out this strong aspiration. May we all be free from suffering. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and the source of suffering. Imagine the world's burden is just slightly alleviated by your genuine wish that all people be free from suffering. And don't have the mistaken idea that this desire of compassion and aspiration to benefit others will lead to sadness. Sadness is a kind of counterfeit compassion. Yes, we do feel sad when we see that people's lives are difficult. But from the depth of our heart, from our very Buddha nature, we can cultivate this aspiration that we can help ourselves and all beings to be free from suffering. So let this strong aspiration supplant any sense of sadness with a strong conviction that through my great fortune at meeting the Dharma, I can cultivate genuine compassion, aspirational compassion, and also activity, being able to find the opportunity, the means and the ability to help relieve other people's suffering.